I love Jonathan Majors. There was something in me that felt, I bet he has a white girlfriend. He was in Sweden somewhere with a blonde-haired white woman. I'm not going to celebrate their children that they have. I don't mind seeing black women with white men. It gets even more toxic for me.
Oh, you're toxic.
What? Looks like it's Christmas once again, baby. I love the internet. Every day is like a new Christmas morning, right? You're opening this magical mystery present and you don't know what stupid take you're gonna hear next. So today we're actually looking at a podcast called See the Thing Is Podcast. But yeah, basically this podcast episode is a bunch of women talking about the topic of interracial dating. So what is interracial dating? Two different races basically date. So a black person and a white person date. That would be an interracial couple. Now you might be like, hey, well, why the hell is this an issue? Why does anybody care about this? Well, if you're self-hating and a little bit racist, you probably should care about it.
You know, people asking me my thoughts on interracial dating, and I would never date a white man. I don't want to see pink to save my life. It's so funny. There was a tweet where it was this woman shaking the fork. It was like, this is how I feel when my friends say try white, and it's like, oh, gross, yuck.
Of course. I see you've started very strong in your comedy career, you know, making pee-pee jokes. The old staple of the greatest comedian of all time, Amy Schumer. Okay, so for some reason, they randomly break out into this side argument of whether John Majors is attractive or not, and then she keeps saying that, hey, I don't like him because of his wealth or abs, I like him because of his energy, which is okay, I guess.
It's okay, y'all like his abs and
I like his way of being. There's something in watching his interviews,
you know what I mean?
Presence, he's attractive.
Because he's a millionaire.
No, even before that, given the attention that he has, given the affluence and the influence that he has,
yes,
he's attractive. He's intelligent, he's talented, he has good taste.
Yes.
Okay, this is hilarious. So, quick disclaimer, I have no idea who this guy is. I don't know, he may be super ultra popular or whatever. I don't keep up with celebrities, I keep up with YouTubers, okay? So yeah, anyways, I'm starting to get the full picture here of why this woman is so mad. So, clearly, she has a crush on this guy, right? And this guy's all wealthy or whatever. And this is just hilarious because her crush is so big is that she's fighting with her other two podcast mates, saying that, oh, he's so attractive. Like, I cut out like a 2-minute segment of her saying, oh my God, he's attractive, please just listen to me, right? So obviously there was something going on here, a little bit of a parasocial, shall we, relationship. Basically she's like looking up to this guy all this time and you're like, oh, this is a perfect human being, I love this. And then she was like, something's telling me in my head that he's gonna go for a white chick, and that would be absolutely disgusting because obviously, you know, I don't like interracial couples, especially with a white woman. So when she heard her idol, like the man she's crushing, or the man she puts on this pedestal or whatever, right, is going for a white woman, this is unacceptable, right? Because clearly she has some sense of superiority here, that this black man should only go for other black women, right?
I understand. I have something tweaked in me.
Okay.
I have been admiring him and his work for a long time.
Okay.
I've been looking at his little Vogue at home videos and everything. Cute. And I was like, wow, he is attractive. I like his way of being. I bet he has a white girlfriend. There was something in me that felt that when it comes out, it's going to be a white woman. And when Antoinette revealed to me that he was in Sweden somewhere with a blonde-haired white woman.
Very white.
It crushed it.
Not even a spicy white.
It crushed me, guys. My crush likes somebody else. Welcome to the 6th grade. I'm like, what? I just love how they openly just admit all of this stuff on the internet on their own podcast. Bro, Batman couldn't get this information out of me, okay? Why are you just admitting like, I'm just racist, guys. Like, I don't like this relationship.
I don't celebrate that. And me as a biracial woman, I understand
that's weird, right?
That's weird. I'm not going to celebrate their children that they have. If they have
children. Wait, you're not going to celebrate the
children? I'm not going to celebrate. I'm just saying, like, it's not.
Even your podcast host women who are pretty messed up already still know that that's bad. Even you acknowledge that, oh my God, I'm going to say something messed up. And then you say it. Something should just be kept a thought, okay? So it's pretty much one of two things. You either really don't like white women because they're taking all of the guys you want, okay? Or two, you just think that it's a responsibility of people to date within their own race or something. But then later in the podcast, as we saw in the short, she says that she's totally fine with black women and white men. So once again, basically what you're telling me is that you should be allowed all the choice in the world, right? Nothing that restricts you. But black men, nah. They can't date white women without you judging them and saying that, it's diminished their value as a person. Somebody you actually looked up to and you actually were crushing on. You're like, oh, wow. I can't believe he's dating a white woman. This is unacceptable. This is below his standard.
Their relationship is not something that it doesn't make me be like, yes. Like, some people together, you're like,
even though that's how you got here.
Together.
That's how we all got here. A white woman and a black man.
So obviously after that, the other podcast hosts who have maybe half of a brain cell point out that that's actually how you were created, right? A white woman and a black man. In fact, that's all of us. That's how all of us were created. So the fact of the matter is, you wouldn't even be alive without these types of relationships.
Like, you know what? But you know what I think that stems from, right? And I think we're seeing a lot more of it now, and it gets under my skin as well. We have been ridiculed and critiqued on both sides of the fence our entire existence, right? We're never white enough for the white people. We're never black enough for the black people. For some black people, however we identify, however we choose to participate in cultural conversations, it's always under the magnifying glass.
Oh yeah, everybody really cares about your opinion. We're all just sitting here in a filled out stadium just waiting for you to speak. Can't wait to hear the gospel coming out of her.
Part of what we're seeing now and what I get agitated about is this concept that now, because it's commercially trendy and attractive for people to be in interracial relationships, it's become a presentation of diluted blackness versus its own us being having a mixed experience that is completely separate from everything else. And I think that's the part that I'm resentful about.
Okay, I love this part, okay? Basically, she's trying to save face for the other podcast hosts and, making all the listeners think that, hey, yeah, we actually have a valid point here. Obviously, people who are dating for trends or, for fame or something, obviously, that's a valid point. But as you'll see later in the clip, the other girl completely ignores her and says, no. I actually am racist. Like, she's trying to save her. This is like getting a one-up in Mario, right? You're playing Super Mario Bros. You hit that little brick, you get that extra one-up life, and then you immediately fall while getting it. Like, you've just lost it.
And somebody brought it up to me. It was like, well, aren't you happy to see, like, all these mixed families and Cheerios commercials? And my response is no, because it's not... The storytelling is not a mixed story. The storytelling is, this is what's digestible for white people. This is the version of blackness that works for white people, which is not the same thing. So I'm resentful of seeing mixed race couples when it's like, damn,
But outside of television then, what about if you're just at a restaurant?
I don't mind seeing black women with white men. It gets even more toxic for me.
Oh, you're toxic. What? Hold on. So you don't like,
It's toxic.
Toxic is probably the least bad word for it. If I was racist, I'd probably call myself toxic as well. That's a nicer way to say it. Like, oh guys, I'm toxic. But racist, that's a little different story here, and that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Somebody's mad that her man got taken by a white woman. Boo-hoo. I don't know what to say. Maybe if you weren't toxic. I just love how the other two podcast hosts are trying to bring up like a valid issue, saying like, oh yeah, this is this common problem that we all hate. People dating for trends. Yeah, that's what we're actually mad about. And then she just immediately brings it back like, no. I'm fine with this, but I ain't fine with that,
I'm not saying
Wow.
you're claiming
Okay.
that there's makes any sense. I'm just telling you how
That's the
I feel.
why do you feel that way?
Because
though?
for some reason,
Mhm.
I feel like
I love the little pause she does, like just trying to think of oh god, I'm in a little bit of hot water here. I need to think of something that doesn't sound toxic. I've legitimately never seen someone be this happy admitting something this messed up. Like it's like a feeling she finally got off her chest. Like, oh my god, I do not like white women. Like, oh my god, I wanted to say that all this time. Like, is it something in my being? I can't explain it. It makes no sense. It's just I really hate it.
all of the black women that I know that are in relationship with white men are being loved up. They are exalted. They're taken care of. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he is riding for this woman and loves her to death. And I'm like,
you don't believe black men do that for white women?
I don't. I guess there's something salty in me that why these men that we admire and are proud of in the ways that they show up in the world as musicians, as actors, as people that now have money, why is their love being projected onto a white woman.
but
I don't know, because maybe people are free to do what they want because we live in a free society. What the heck is wrong with you? This is beyond like saltiness and jealousness. This is like you're getting to territories where people will not watch you anymore because of the things you say. Also, how do you think you're responsible enough to actually run a podcast with the audience here? You're literally using individual instances in your life as representative of like general statistics or something. You're basically saying that black women and white men relationships can always work out because my friends have worked out, but not the other way around because I've never seen it work that way. What? I don't like to say this, but you're pretty much the definition of like an emotional person who works off their feelings in individual instances rather than what would actually happen. And I knew what was happening, right? I predicted this at the start. Like, I didn't even watch this podcast all the way, and I knew you were salty as hell and extremely jealous of white women. Also, I got another question. What if your crush went out with a black woman, another black woman? Would that be satisfying? Like, is she valuable enough for you to not be mad about it?
Let me ask you, with the other women that we looked up to, of course, Serena Williams being one.
There's only 2 times I heard about Serena Williams. One is getting destroyed by this random guy, tennis player, who was like number 400 or something. And the second time was when she ultra raged in like, I don't know, some controversy. She broke a racket or something. I'm not too sure what happened, but I think she randomly started like raging at the referee or the umpire or whatever.
They chose white men to not only be with, but procreate with. So I want to know the understanding of where you look up to black men and you have a disdain for them being with white women. But when we look up to black women, there's almost a celebration around them getting with a white man.
I can't sit here and y'all tell me, help me through this. I don't have a logical answer. I know
you
that
just
there's
know it makes
something
you feel,
distorted
it makes
in
you
me
feel
that
away.
when
I really think that these people need to think before they set up this podcast and start talking, because it's a win to get a white man. Do you realize how racist you sound right now? You literally, in your head, are putting white people on a superior position to yourself and being a completely self-hating person. This is horrible.
I don't know. I find it interesting, all of our views on interracial dating.
Of course, I found it super interesting how you guys literally generalize entire races. What does one experience have to do with everybody else on the goddamn planet? To be honest, this is like extremely messed up. Like, I don't see how you're allowed to say this stuff and get away with it, but let me know what you guys thought.